Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Hit the bell, subscribe. We have new content coming out daily. Make sure you subscribe. God bless you guys.
I think that country music is noise that happens to rhyme. However, a lot of people like country music. I do like country music culture, and I like people who like country music. And so I have all those kind of different, let's just say, takes on that. I've got a chance to meet a lot of country music artists, and I think the world of many of them, including Jason Aldean. This is a fascinating story. Andrew, you're kind of our resident country music admirer or fan, so I'm going to kind of let you carry the water here. What's going on with great American patriot, good man, very talented artist Jason Aldean?
Well, he's getting attacked by the likes of Sheryl Crow and others, and then he had his music video try that in a small town taken down by CMT. It looks like, and so it's not, to me. I listen to it. I think most of our audience would listen to it, and I think we have some clips from the music video, and we'll find those in just a second. But this is a really shouldn't be controversial. He's just saying, like almost every other country music song says, that hey, small town values are the best, and we don't let people get away with, spitting in cops' faces and trashing the liquor store in the small town. Try that in a small town. It's a little aggressive, maybe. Like, you're gonna get your butt kicked if you try and mess with our town. But like, listen, that's the way of the world. That's what really happens. And Sheryl Crow is saying, hey, we don't like violence in small towns either. It's like, no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying if you want to sow discord, sow chaos in our town, and you want to come and riot about some trumped up, phony, baloney, racial, trans, whatever the thing is of the week in our town, we're not going to let it happen. So anyways, I think a lot of people resonate with the lyrics. It's now #1 on the charts. So conservatives are rallying behind it. Let's just say this. I talked with Jason Aldean actually backstage at AmFest last year. Nicest guy. Him and his wife are
really
the real
guy.
Deal. Yeah, they're total blue chips in the conservative or the country music sort of ecosystem. It doesn't get much bigger than them. I think right now it's basically Morgan Wallen might have an edge on him, and that's about it. And by the way, Morgan Wallen and Jason Aldean are really good friends. And so I think what's going to be interesting to see here is what happens to CMT and what happens to these woke country artists that are getting behind some of this stuff, like Christina Ballerini or whatever her name was, where she at the CMT Music Awards, where she performed with a bunch of drag queens on stage. Everybody, the woke CMT Awards. So it's pretty appalling, actually, that this seems to be gaining traction. Like he was calling for lynching or something. I mean, when I listen to the song, I don't hear it at all. And he also Jason Aldean went on social media to say that in fact these were all actual the crime footage that's in the video. It's actual news reporting. So he didn't doctor anything. He didn't take anything out of context. It's just the scenes of the BLM riots and the Antifa stuff. So I think it's much ado about nothing. Conservatives have to put up with liberals that we hate their music, or we hate their ideas, but we love their music. And then they're having one freak out of one conservative country music star.
Well, let's bring that up, Andrew. Let's bring up 97. Put it on screen.
Yeah, this is a great.
I think I got this shared from 8 different people over the last night. If you can't read it, it's conservatives listening to their favorite band that hates them, which is, if you're like me and listen to like deranged heavy metal music from the 80s, a very common experience. And then, the poor liberals who have encountered one song from an artist they don't like, and they have died a tragic death. And then they will rise and they will try to burn down another city, and probably a small town too now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, beware if you're a small town. We do have clips from this, I believe. So let's play a couple clips from the actual music video. Cut 73.
Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough? Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend
right. Is it over? Is it over? All right. I'm gonna put back in my earphone now. I'm with Charlie on the country music question. It's not for me.
I'm right there with you, Blake. But I have too much respect for Jason Aldean and his strong stances to give my editorialized opinion. Jack, how should we think about this? Jack, I can't. Are you really a country music fan?
Well, so I actually have a funny story about that as well, because Charlie, I think I'm more in your camp, where I'm probably not going to be listening to country music if you give me the choice. Look, I'm from Philadelphia area. You know, we grew up with rock, we grew up with metal, that kind of stuff. I'm a Primus guy, Sabaton, Smashing Pumpkins. Seen David Bowie like 5 times. That's country's not my thing. But when Tanya came to the United States from the Soviet Union, for some reason, which I haven't quite gotten the story on this, she fell in love with country music. And so when we first started dating, she would always say that if I wanted to go out with her, I had to take her to country concerts. So I was like, well, I decided to bite the bullet. I said it's worth it. And I ended up seeing a bunch of the same acts that later I would get to meet and see at America Fest when Tanya and I were just dating like a decade ago now.
You know, that's actually pretty amazing, Jack, because I've read the same thing in like rural Africa, like Kenya, northern Kenya, like Tanzania, Nigeria, tons of those places. Like old U.S. country is really popular. Like you can find videos of them at these African weddings, and they're all dancing very energetically to Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, like older country classics like that. And it really, like, it speaks to them. Like it's a very similar lifestyle. Like a lot of them are ranchers in rural areas with kind of more old-fashioned values.
Wait, so I like Johnny Cash. I like Willie Nelson.
Oh yeah, but then they get the later stuff too. They're also getting our modern country music as well, and so it's like it is like a global appeal, and I kind of like that. I like that in a lot of places, the American culture that travels best is like golden age, like 80s Reagan America, like these people who love roller coasters and pro wrestling, and in a weird way, I guess it's like it's like the ones who like old anime shows, and so yeah, then they love old country music shows, country music acts too. I'd rather have that be traveling than whatever we're putting out today.
Am I the only country music fan on this panel right now? You guys are a bunch of losers.
Hopefully, yeah.
I'm telling you, I grew up
Yes.
with, yeah. I grew up from a ranching family in northern Nevada. Yeah, you guys are all missing out. I grew up in a ranching family from northern Nevada, and I mean, I grew up with George Strait sitting on my dad's 3/4 ton 76 Chevy pickup truck, sitting on the bench seat, driving down dirt roads, like baling hay. So like, you guys just don't get it yet. And that's fine. But here's one thing I don't get behind as a country fan. Let's go ahead and play cut 79. This is from April. Country singer Kelsey Ballerini performs with Drag Race stars and gets some backlash for her wokeness. 79.
Hypothetically, if you ever kill your husband, hand on the Bible, I'd be lying through my teeth. There's dirt on you, there's dirt on me. We all know our hands ain't clean. All the time we end up on the news.
This
So
music is
apparently,
so bad.
I mean,
that's bad. I'll admit that's bad. But this is what's interesting. So when we were at Young Women's Leadership Summit, there was a Washington Post reporter there, and this is going to start getting a lot more publicity. There was a Washington Post reporter there that wants to do a whole story on the divide in country music. So Nashville is a traditionally conservative town, but there is this growing divide between like the Maren Morrises and all of this, and the Morgan Wallens and the Jason Aldeans. Tim McGraw is apparently exceptionally liberal. So is his wife, Faith Hill. And so there's this big rift erupting in a formerly very conservative town. Garth Brooks just took a bunch of heat for saying that we're going to serve Bud Light at his bar, and all these a-holes that are trying to politicize the trans issue or whatever. I forget exactly what he said. There's a massive divide happening. But I mean, listen, if I'm if I'm in the country music business, I would just say, watch yourself, because if you're going to go on the woke stuff, if you're going to go on the progressive agenda within country music, you are instantly parting ways with, I would say, 80% of your fan base. So it's a losing battle for them, and I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe they think they're on some holy crusade. Shout out Steve Bannon. But I just think, I don't know why they were doing it as strictly a business proposition. It's a loser.
It is the mind virus of the woke that is infecting all institutions. And I didn't get a chance to see that last clip, but boy, that was hard to listen to.